What is up, guys? Oakley here, bringing you my very first Football Manager video for FM20. It is a top 5 teams to be in the top 5 leagues, so England, Spain, Italy, France and Germany. We're going to look at each league and I'm going to choose one team from each with all their own little unique story of why they would be a good team to start with in FM20. The gameplay is from FM19, but it has the updated players, so we can look at them as well. As I said, it's my very first video for FM20. Plan on doing a lot more tips, tricks and tutorials, and probably some Let's Plays as well. So if you've got any suggestions on videos you would like to see, then leave a comment below. But without further ado, let's jump into it. So we're going to start in England in the Premier League, and the team to be, I think, in this league is going to be Chelsea. Now, obviously, Chelsea have had a manager change in the summer. They've got their club legend Frank Lampard from Derby. Obviously, Sarri left for Juventus. And as you can see, in the early 2000s to late 2000s, they were really one of the dominant teams, winning it a few times as well as finishing second. But lately, they have really fallen down the pecking order. Obviously, they've won it twice before. But the interesting thing about Chelsea this season is they actually have a transfer ban. So you won't be able to buy anyone in the summer transfer window that the game starts, as well as the January. So you've got a whole year where you've got to rely on the players you've got and the youth. So this is going to be a real good challenge for anyone that likes to concentrate on youth. You're going to be forced to do that. You're going to be able to get into the mechanics of the youth system now that it's changed as well with FM20. So obviously, some of the players that you're going to have to be relying on for this season is obviously Reece James, who's a promising right back. You've got Tammy Abraham, who's obviously started the Premier League season this season really, really well after a impressive loan spell at Aston Villa. And you've also got the man of the moment for Chelsea, Mason Mount, who's going to be really promising. He is in FM19 and I can't imagine that changing in FM20. The other unique thing about Chelsea at the moment is they actually have a relatively young squad, all sort of around the 22, 23 years. So they're going to be coming into their prime in a few seasons' time. And without the worry of actually buying anyone, you're going to have to concentrate on training and getting these players into world-class players. So let's move over to France. So over to League One, we have chosen Saint Etienne, who for the past 10 years tried to cement their place as one of the top teams in French football. Obviously you can see they've finished 7th, 5th, 4th and 5th, 6th, and then they've had a bit of a rough time the last 2 seasons. But the thing that makes Saint Etienne really interesting is the fact that if we go to their history, they've actually won the league title the most times. They haven't won it in 30 years, 1980 being the last time. So the little challenge that you can set yourself here is to secure your 11th league title before PSG, who are on 8 at the moment. So you get 3 seasons to complete that. Obviously, if PSG win it, your goal is to then overtake them and claim your top spot that Saint Etienne had in the late 70s, should I say. They have got some decent players. They've got quite an aging squad, so that's something that you're going to have to look at. Their budget, I would imagine, is not going to be that great in FM20, but if you can secure yourself Champions League football in the first season, second season, really try to push on in the league, and in the third season, hopefully with a bit more of a budget that you can push on and challenge PSG. But they have Youssouf, who is a French footballer, really good 18-year-old. They obviously have Diossi, who again, a nice young footballer that you can sort of start to build your team around. And they've got great players like Mvila. Sorry if I'm butchering any of these names. But they do have a mix of young talent and solid talent to build your teams around and hopefully overtake PSG and reclaim the top spot. So now we'll take a trip to Germany, and the team in the German Bundesliga that I've chosen is Paderborn. For people that don't know, as you can see their history, they're not actually ever really been in the Bundesliga. They managed it once back in 2014-15. But apart from that, they have really gone between the third and the second tier, where they maintained themselves for a good 10 years. But as I said, they got promoted in 13-14, and after 4 games of the 14-15 season, they were actually top of the Bundesliga. But by the halfway stage in the season, they were about mid-table, and then the back end of the season, they really lost their focus, and they ended up 18th, which is bottom. Following that relegation, they then got back-to-back relegations into the third league. And this is where it's a bit interesting, because they actually got relegated again, and they would have dropped into the sort of the amateur leagues. However, a team above them, I believe it was 18-16 Munich. I could be wrong on that, but the team above them lost their license, or wouldn't pay their licensing for the third league. So Paderborn was saved, and on the back of that, the following 2 seasons they got back-to-back promotions, so they're now back into the Bundesliga. So the challenge here would be just to maintain them, secure their safety, to make sure that they don't get relegated back down to the Bundesliga 2. And then obviously push on, and hopefully within 5, 6, 7 years challenging for the Bundesliga title. So our next stop is Serie A, and we've chosen Inter Milan for this save. This is very much a story of a fallen giant. As you can see, from 2005 to 2009, they actually won the title 5 years on the bounce. But since then, they've really struggled. In some seasons, they haven't even qualified for the Europa League, let alone the Champions League, which is obviously their main aim. They have spent big in the summer. Their manager at the moment is Conte, who's obviously left Chelsea. But as I said, they have spent big in the summer, so don't expect too much of a transfer budget, should I say, on FM20. But they do have a nice big squad for you to be able to sell players, to bring on a bit of extra money if you feel that you have to. So obviously their star signings for this year is obviously Romelu Lukaku from Manchester United. Nice big strong striker. The ball will no doubt expect a strong return on the squad that you have. And then obviously they've got Sanchez as well from United, who's going to be one of your star players, and particularly if you can get him into a position that he works well in. But they also have people like Barbosa, who's always been very, very good. Nice and young as well. Will no doubt continue to be that in FM20. So the challenge here is quite simply to turn this team back into the giants that they once were, challenging for the Champions League and for the title year in, year out. So let's move over to Spain. So next stop is Spain, and the team in La Liga I've chosen for this year's save is Atletico Madrid. Now obviously over the last 10 years they've really cemented their place as one of the top 3 teams in La Liga. Obviously Barcelona and Real Madrid are just ahead of them. But they have lost some key players. Most notably, they've lost Griezmann over the summer. But in replacement of that, they have also spent big. They've bought Trippier from Tottenham. They've bought Philippe, as well as a nice big strong centre-back. And their star signing is obviously one for the future, as well as now is João Felix, who, as I said, is going to be a game changer for them. He's going to really be able to build your team around him. And the great thing about Atletico Madrid is that they've got a really young side. So you're going to really be seeing their form in 3-4 seasons' time. Obviously, Atletico Madrid, they're going to have quite a big budget as well. If we have a quick look at their history, they've won the La Liga 10 times. So the challenge here is just to overtake Barcelona and Real Madrid, concentrate on La Liga, and then obviously go for it in the Champions League. So those are my top 5 teams in the top 5 leagues. Hope you really enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment below, let me know what series you want to be seeing. I'm planning on doing a few more, maybe some season previews once FM20 comes out of all the big leagues, and some Let's Plays. So if you've got any suggestions, leave a comment below and I'll catch you all in my next video.